Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to everyone, and a very warm welcome to today's exclusive partner briefing on premium AI workforce learning growth opportunities across Saudi Arabia and GCC. Thank you for taking the time to join us today. As organizations across Saudi Arabia and the wider GCC accelerate their AI transformation journeys, the demand for high-quality role-based AI learning and workforce development programs is growing at an unprecedented pace. Today's session is designed to provide our partners with strategic insights into where these opportunities exist, what's driving market demand, and how we can position ourselves to capture this growth. I'm delighted to have all of you with us today. Before we move on, a few quick housekeeping notes to be shared. This session is being recorded, and you'll be receiving your participation certificates along with the recording of this session shortly after this webinar. Now, moving on, it's my absolute pleasure to introduce our speaker for today's session, Mr. Rahul Srivastava. Rahul is a strategic business leader focused on driving revenue growth, market expansion, and high-impact partnerships within the AI learning and workforce transformation ecosystems. Throughout his career, he has been instrumental in building growth initiatives, expanding partner networks, and enabling organizations to capitalize on emerging technology opportunities. At AI CERTs, Rahul works closely with global partners, enterprises, training providers, and ecosystem stakeholders to accelerate AI adoption and workforce readiness through certification and learning programs. Given his extensive experience in growth strategy, partnerships, and AI workforce development, Rahul brings a unique perspective on the opportunities emerging across Saudi Arabia and the GCC region. Rahul, before I would like to hand over the stage to you without any further ado.
Thank you so much, Shrishti. Thank you for joining in. I openly appreciate everyone, participating in this particular webinar. It is not going to be just a monologue, but of course, I cannot unmute a lot of participants to talk. But thank you for joining in the webinar. I think Thursday seems to be a little busy for all of us, and I think in GCC usually, it's a shift towards the weekends already that has started. So. Thank you again for joining in. My name is Rahul Srivastava, and I take care of partnerships at AI CERTs. I would just quickly give a glance in terms of what we are going to cover so that it helps everyone understand how I'm going to utilize the next 30 minutes for everyone to get at least some substantial output from this particular session. So we are going to cover the demand, of course, how the demand is shaping with respect to AI. What are the key investment levers that we have observed over a period of time after talking to so many partners across GCC with Qatar, Kuwait, Oman, Saudi Arabia, UAE, Bahrain. So we'll talk about few key levers that really instigate and that really translates to revenue outcomes for the training companies. And then I'm also going to talk about what AI CERTs from a supply side can actually help the training companies to grow. What kind of infrastructure is available for the training companies to grow into the training ecosystem, which is powered by AI completely. And there's a right content in place, there's right governance in place, there's right adoption strategy in place, and of course, the most important thing, which is people readiness in place, right? So we are going to talk about the supply and of course the demand side of things. And then I'm also going to take you through what are the key opportunities that lies beyond what we do today in terms of how we partner with our companies. I'm also going to share some case studies, how our partners are doing there, so that it helps resonate well in terms of what kind of credibility we have built over these years. So let's get started. I mean, I would appreciate everyone just quickly putting in chat where they are from and which company they belong to. I think if that can come in, it'll be a little more contextual conversation that can happen instead of just a monologue, which is where I don't want to bore anyone with the PPT alone. So I think you have understood, broadly, if you see the banner here, it clearly says that private partner briefing, premium AI workforce learning growth opportunities across Saudi Arabia and GCC. So how training providers can capture premium AI workforce learning opportunities across Saudi Arabia and the GCC by building verified capability. So without a further delay in what we are expecting, I'll quickly go on to the session agenda. So where Saudi Arabia and GCC workforce transformation opportunity is moving right now, we will talk about how Vision 2030 priorities are shaping enterprise learning demand. We are also going to talk about where enterprise and public sector budgets are flowing right now. So we all have been seeing, the L&D budgets have been utilized at the end of the year or at the end of the financial year. We have also seen that it was earlier just a checkbox activity to become or to just have a L&D activity, but now enterprises, public, uh, where you see that there's a government public partnership that is also involved, or private public partnership that is involved. Now people are, or maybe I would say the leaders are looking at the hunch, if you say, they are looking at very smartly the ROI of what they are investing in. So we are also going to talk about how we help organizations get the ROI of what they are investing in, not just objectively into certification or into a training program. Why the winning providers all have one thing in common: the verified capability, of course, which is where certification as a brand or as a credibility gets positioned, and how AI certs help partner capture the Saudi Arabia and GCC opportunity faster. So going on to the three key levers that I would want to really point it out here would be government and enterprise AI adoption is already creating more demand. AI capability is becoming a more important hiring and upskilling priority, and certification has become a stronger trust signal in enterprise and government buying. So I think just to assimilate the thoughts and just to summarize what is happening in GCC right now, if you see on a high level, government has taken a lot of initiatives. They have invested a lot of money. They continue to invest a lot of money to ensure that there are people who are not just learning the AI tools, but there are people who are investing themselves into continued learning education, where they are sticking around. There is the stickiness around the technology is really high. It's no more just cybersecurity, no more just cloud adoption, but it is now more of AI adoption, and of course the emerging technologies like AI and blockchain. So I think we will be talking about this futuristically in terms of how we have culminated as one body together, and how we have ensured that we have come up with a very holistic approach in terms of getting all the compliance ready, getting to a point where all our accreditations that we have as of today, they are completely aligned with the local accreditations of those particular countries as well. So we'll be talking about that, so that on a high level it helps everyone to really build the market and really build the market for themselves in that particular region where they have been operating since long. So on a high level, AI certs, if I want to tell everyone, AI certs is a certification body where we have role-based certification. We are one of those, I would say, companies on planet Earth where we have 90 plus certifications, where we cater to almost about every industry, and from industry to every particular job role. So it's an industry specific and role specific certifications that we cater to till today. We have 90 plus certification, which are broadly bifurcated into two streams, I would say. One would be your technical streams, where you have cloud computing, cybersecurity, you have data science, you have robotics, you have quantum computing, and on the other side you have on the other side you have quantum. On the other side you have non-technical companies, like non-technical certifications like HR, finance, legal, healthcare. So all the industry that are booming in a specific country, or the roles that are booming in that specific industry or in that particular country, it helps the partners to gauge the complete employee or I would say employer-wide training spectrum, not just limited to something which is just for cybersecurity training. So you would not be merely a cybersecurity training provider, or you would not be just a cloud training provider or a cloud service provider. Rather, you would be more of a hands-on, comprehensive, complete one-stop solution where you can offer everything and anything to an organization, which is academic institution. You talk about government bodies, you talk about associations, you talk about enterprises, you talk about maybe I would say private public partnerships or private public entities that exist today. So we cater to everything and anything that you can think of in the world of AI. So what we have done is we have created these content. We are again not a content company, but we have been seeing the trend in terms of how vulnerable learners are. how their learning styles have been changing. So we have developed a complete infrastructure and product around the content, and then of course that content is being supported to support the certifications at the end of it. So I'll talk about a little more on the product side, but on a high level, currently AI CERTs sits at 425 to 427 partners till date. We have been into the industry for almost 3 decades now, and AI CERTs as a brand has come into place very recently, around 4 years, I would say. But with 4 years, we have now 425 partners, 427 partners across the world. And when I say across the world, GCC is one of the major, hub for us. GCC, APAC, and of course US. These are the 3 markets that we cater to. We are still getting into Europe and UK region, which is MEA. But on a very specific note, GCC has seen a great demand with respect to AI and AI certifications. So we'll be talking about it a little more in depth, but let me go to the real question that we all have been talking about, right? I mean, we all know that AI has a lot of impact on certain industry or on certain roles like marketing, sales, maybe HR, finance, and a lot of it is also about little fluff where it's all marketing. So we do not know where exactly the real sweet spot is. And we have seen the actual sweet spot now when we have been talking to so many partners and their customers. We have understood that adoption of AI has become #1 KPI for the organization. And the best part is the CXO layers have approved this to an extent that they are deliberately pushing their -1s or the down hierarchy to ensure that the adoption is clear and there is a clear ROI around the adoption. One of the things that we have understood is, when you learn something, you gauge something, but whether you are actually, whether training really resonates, or there is a very strong correlation between what you have learned versus what you can actually adopt. There's no major use case that we have been able to prove. But what we have also been able to prove is people who have been able to do certifications versus people who have not been able to do certifications, there is definitely a delta between their productivity metric. So when we talk about that delta, I'm not going to again reiterate that the delta is 35% average, highly likely, socially desirable answer, but we have seen it between 12 to 18%. And for a few regions and few industries with specific roles, we have seen 20 to 25%. If the adoption is real, if the adoption has clicked in and plunged in rightfully with right mechanism to track, with right governance to have. So I think the motive of asking this question is to ensure that organizations are now moving from just doing the pilots to going into the real adoption. How do you measure AI capability versus AI usage? Again, what you measure is what you can improve on, and that's one of the things. It's very important that what are the key success metrics. Is it the real AI tool usage that we need to look at when it comes to AI adoption, or is it going to be really for what purpose that particular tool is being used? Is it being fully capitalized on, or is it that there is a difference in terms of how the tool has to be utilized? Just not just a tool or LLM or any model that you're talking to. So what is preventing organizations from scaling AI safely and effectively? Are your teams equipped with validated role-based AI skills? And of course, how do government ensure responsible and compliant AI adoption? So all these things we have sat down, almost 3 years, 4 years back when we were building something like this, and it was not easy because few things from a governance perspective, which is valid in Saudi Arabia, might not be holistically valid in Bahrain as a region. And that's one of the reasons we have to create something which is very, very near to, or very clean and clear to, in terms of what the governance should look like, what the governance framework should look like when we are developing such certification. And that's one of the reasons we are not a product dependent certification, or we are not a vendor dependent certifications. We do not just promote AWS, Cisco, maybe Microsoft Azure, or Microsoft as a whole, or Google Cloud, or Google's Gemini. We have everything in one place because we know the real moat in AI is today not to have just one particular ecosystem of AI and then just work on that. Maybe someone needs to shift from Copilot to maybe Anthropic, someone needs to shift from ChatGPT to maybe LLM Council, you never know. So the key mode here is to keep shifting it so that you know your sweet spot where you can get the best out of what role you are into. And that's one of the reasons we are vendor agnostic, or I would say vendor aligned, not completely agnostic, but we are not vendor dependent. We are not forcing anyone to do something which is just there as a standard, which Cisco, Microsoft, and AWS has been just following. So we have in our courses everything inclusive of what they are already offering. So adoption creates interest, of course, and verified capability helps in verifying that particular interest that has been developed over a period of time. And of course, that the real interest that has been developed needs to translate into outcome, which is where productivity matrix comes in. So I'll quickly go on to the next slide to help everyone understand how we have achieved what we have achieved till today, why we do what we do today, so that it helps everyone understand. And quickly to run you through, I think all of you who are from UAE, Saudi, GC, all the GCC, anywhere from the GCC part, I think you are aware about the strategy 2031, AI integrated into government services, national talent and upskilling programs that have been launched by the UAE government. We are already aware about the Vision 2030 human capability development. We are already aware about Oman, Qatar, and Bahrain wider GCC region. One of the things that I want to talk about is Bahrain being one of the very small countries across GCC. We have about 7 to 8 partners in that particular region in itself. And I can very proudly say that we have partners doing almost about $80,000 per month. So if they are doing 80,000, they are paying us $80,000 per month by the help of Tamkeen, by the help of government funding. There's no reason why someone who's even very average and starter in the industry would not be able to make half or maybe 1/4 of it. So just not throwing numbers, this is something that I can support you with a lot of case studies. You can learn about those partners, how they have been able to achieve this, what growth they have been able to achieve it. And let me also be very honest in telling you all that if a partner makes $1 today, we know if we make $1 today, we know the partner would have made at least $4 to $5. And that is because the kind of infrastructure that we have developed. In today's world, we are developing everything and we are completely dependent on AI CERTs. We do not have any third-party integrations with our LMS or with our complete AI ecosystem that we have created for the user to learn, get certified, and then get that certification issued. So it's all in one place, and that's why we call it as an infrastructure development and not just a certification or content development, because in today's date, content has become a commodity since AI has plugged in. So quickly going back to the high adoption, limited scale, and a bigger opportunity that we have seen, and right providers in Saudi Arabia. So 75, this is something that we have taken from Gartner. This number has been taken from Gartner. I think a little movement would have been here and there. This was last year's Q4 numbers. 75% of Middle East employees have used AI in their roles in past 12 months. 32% of Middle East employees use Gen AI tools as ChatGPT, Delay, Anthropic, for example, I think Claude. By late 2024, nearly 60% of the Middle East firms reported fast AI adoption. And of course, but only 14 to 28 had scaled across the business functions. So of course, we have seen that a lot of organizations come to us also, we have purchase licenses, we do not know what to do with them. We have taken the training, but we really do not know whether the real utilization and ROI for what we have invested has gotten or not. And that's where we as an organization help organization to really get an understanding, not just from a certification perspective, but we provide everything from being a certification partner to you, to being an adoption partner to you, to being I would say change management experts from everything that you can think of, from a nascent stage of AI where you're exploring AI to really maturing the models with you, with your teams. So I think that's very important to understand that adoption of AI is the real use case of AI rather than just getting trained. And generically saying, there are a lot of companies who have made a lot of money by selling very generic content. And that's one of the reasons we position AI CERTs as one of the organizations which is very specific to a specific role, and that too industry specific. Someone who is doing an HR job into a manufacturing industry versus someone who is doing a HR job in a software industry has a lot of difference in terms of their complete workflows. So what we have integrated in our ecosystem and in our content as well is where it is specific to a job role. We have understood the job requirements. We have understood how they have to interact with multiple stakeholders. What are the key initiatives that they need to know if someone is in sales, whether they need to know about the marketing part or not, what they need to know about the product part, what they need to know about customer service or customer experience. All these things are compiled to ensure that there is a complete holistic experience for the learner. So I think AI literacy for all employees, AI fluency for business functional teams, and of course, AI mastery for specialists and leaders, which typically means that our courses and our certifications that we provide to the end learners are into these three phases. That means understanding of AI concepts and use cases, applying AI tools in day-to-day workflows, and of course, mastery is when you can use those tools, or you can really train the models basis basis your experience, whether the model is hallucinating, whether the model is maybe it has a lot of biases in it. All of these things comes into the third part of it. So all our certifications is further bifurcated into role specific, industry specific, and then it is specific to the learner's demand, right? For an example, if I am just exploring AI, I do not know a lot about AI, I can just go for all the literacy courses. So that's pretty much that I wanted to talk about here in this slide. One thing winning Saudi Arabia and GCC provide have in common is verified capability. Enterprises increasingly, I've personally seen that. I've been managing partnerships for so long time, and I can tell you very clearly, we can say that there is a clear signal of validation of what they have done in GCC specifically. I've not seen something in Singapore, Malaysia, in fact, in India, I've not seen something very specific around the accreditation of a certification in US also. But we have seen a lot in Saudi Arabia, GCC region, where they talk about what credibility do you bring or your certification bring to the table, right? So trusted validation, of course, we have trained more than, I don't know exact numbers, but I can tell you almost about 80,000 plus employees. We have workforce benchmarking already done from our experts. We have compliance alignment. We have scalable enterprise readiness systems in place. And of course, the procurement ready recognition. What I mean by this also is that we are not just a certification provider. Below that, the kind of infrastructure that is required to support the certification brand that's also has been proven. And that's one of the reasons we have, in just 4 years time, 3 years in fact, from operations perspective and from sales and marketing perspective, it has been just 2 years, we have already gained traction for 420 plus partners across. And when we talk about the partnership, we also have partnerships being done in 4 different types. One of the partnership is AAP. If you are an academic partner, you can become a training partner, which is, we call it as ATP. You can become a reseller, and you can become an association partner, which we are going to talk about. So when I was talking about the infrastructure layer that we have pumped into the certification, we also mean that we have verified credential issuance platform with us, which is based on blockchain technology, where we issue certificates to the end users from our portal itself. We do not depend on Credly or any third parties. We do not use Pearson, Mercer for proctoring as well. We have our own AI labs where we have developed these products. That's one of the reasons penetration in GCC, APAC, and Africa is very important, and it has to be affordable. And that's one of the reasons we have developed everything in-house, so that pricing does not become a prominent factor in terms of penetrating the market when you are into early stage in your training, or when you're exploring AI in your normal training that you have been doing. So I think established partners already have launched AWS, ISACA, Cisco partners. They are already there. They have already launched AI training programs. Early movers have captured initial enterprise demand, and authorized partner positioning gives them a credibility advantage. Generic providers flooding the market. I mean, on the other side, if you see what really needs to have and versus what we see, LinkedIn is filled with intro of AI boot camps, commoditized pricing, and no differentiation. So I think enterprise is rejecting all this because they also have understood to an extent that a real value can come in when you teach someone very specific to their job role, they'll show interest, and the adoption will be driven through that particular interest and through that particular content. If it is very contextualized, it is very limited, and it is not overly done for any employee. So I think that's the kind of balance that we have been able to make, and that's one of the ideas that we had initially, that role specific AI integrations needs to be done for any individual, and they don't need to learn everything and anything that is out there in the market. So pretty much that I wanted to talk about where AI budget is flowing. Again, corporate cohorts, government tenders, consulting and training, blends, open calendar, university partnership. So all of you are aware about the customer segmentation that you are also into. We know GCC has a lot of RFPs that comes in. Now there is a trend that enterprises have started talking to only training companies who also have a consulting arm, and they're not really talking about what you are going to do in a training on a 5-day class, and how this 5-day class will help the student or maybe the employee to ensure that they get the adoption done. That's a I would say, on a hindsight, that's a bias that gets created, because we feel that training will drive the adoption. Now people need consulting. They need consulting in terms of understanding what are their use cases, how they can actually improve their workflows, and how that workflow can increase the productivity of that particular business function. And that's one of the reasons a lot of digital transformation initiatives that were earlier tied up to I think cybersecurity and cloud adoption has now moved to completely AI adoption. I remember I have done few projects before in my company, which was training models using data science was almost a 3-month process. Now I can train a model with AI for about 1 week, less than 1 week. So I think that's the change, and that's the approach I have personally observed, what I have been doing in the tech industry for about 10 years. And I think substantially, I would say AI has not completely blown out of proportion, but it has a lot of value that people need to see in specific role if you are, and in specific industry that you are into. So I think these are the few customer segment that I have listed down here that we cater to right now with our partners, specifically in GCC. So feel free to ask any questions. Shrishti, if you see any questions coming in, feel free to put it across to me so that I can answer any questions related to pricing, what is the partnership model, how it looks like, and all of those things. I'll quickly move to the risks involved. I think, of course, we all know that governance becomes the backbone of adoption, and that's why it's very imperative and important to ensure that shadow AI, data breaches, compliance failures, something which can put the entire organizations into risk. No one wants to take that risk. I mean, no one wants to expose their database. No one wants to expose their anything that internally happens is to a public domain, of course. So that's one of the reasons when we have developed these certifications, there's a lot that has gone into, from a framework perspective, how we design these courses, how we make sure that our labs that are available for the students or for the employees are very safe environments that they can actually play around with, they can learn there, and then they can come back to their workspace and really practice it in the right segment. So I think this is what it says. Now I've just drafted 2 more slides. I was not able to put it in one slide, but I'm just trying to put it across why providers building in-house are falling behind. First thing that I want to really talk about is a lot of investment. We have grown our team from 200 to 1,300 people right now in just span of three years. So if we are at 1,300, there's a huge investment, not just on the people side of things. And when we say people, of course, there's a lot of paradoxical argument that comes in where we say that you are an AI company and you are also growing people. It's not that easy to say that you can implement AI and then you can reduce the workforce and then increase the productivity and you can reduce the cost and all of those things. But really, we have invested. Our moat is that we have invested in a lot of right people. Our moat is that we have a very strong backing from leaders from Microsoft. We have been a partner to Microsoft for about 27 years. We have done a lot of business with them. So a lot of leaders have supported from Microsoft directly in building these platforms that we have come up with. So the kind of advisory that we have, the kind of team that we have is one part of it. I would just try to give you, research, how much time does it go and where does it really fall short. So I think, keeping up with the pace of AI is one of the very important levers that we all have to understand, that AI is growing every day. 𝗪𝗵𝗿 was banned. I mean, it just gave an update that, we cannot do anything and we are banned for next. I mean, we cannot have a 𝗪𝗵𝗿 update for next 1 year or maybe 6 months. And 𝗪𝗵𝗿 was the Anthropic's the most iconic, I would say, product line that could have been introduced from a I would say Gen AI perspective. But everything is growing very fast. People are shifting from ChatGPT now. No one likes ChatGPT. Everyone is shifting to adopt Claude. Now from Claude, people have now shifted to something called LLM Council. I've personally used LLM Council. Now people are building their own agents to develop all these things. I'm just accumulating and consolidating the fact that keeping up with the pace of AI has to do a lot with the research, has a lot to do with talking to a lot of people in the industry, talking to a lot of people who are actually implementing AI right now. And that's one of the things that we have been doing consistently. And that's why our courses have been completely upgraded every 3 months. If there is a very substantial update that happens significantly in a specific course, it might get updated in 1 month as well. But that's the timeline that we look at is 3 to 6 months. Every 3 to 6 months, we have our course being upgraded. So one of the things that I want to talk about is, of course, developing the content and keeping the content updated. Of course, developing the content, researching, and curriculum design, all of this is a background to a lot of to a lot of operational aspects of how you see increasing and improving the funnel. But on a high level, if I want to talk about the first three part that you see is where the operational challenge comes in, a lot of money that goes in. And the second part to it is always going to be, when you have to do the QA, you have to do the platform setup, you have to ensure that your partners are happy. You're not just giving a mere certification which does not even look like a certification. You have to ensure that there are partner portals, there are trainer portals, there are everything that a partner needs to support the mechanism to be successful in that particular region. So I think this is where AI certs become a little more handy. So what generic training gets you is price competition. Think about the buying behavior, loss to vendors with certifications in procurement, thin margins, one of the projects that comes in and no repeatable business. What verified capability training gets you is premium pricing. Of course, you can ask for anything in GCC market, even if you are taking something from us as $100 and you are selling it at $200. There's no way people can question the fact that the quality and the kind of verifiability that we provide in one particular place is something which is non-comparable. So compliance-led urgency, better performance in procurement evaluation, healthier margins with an authorized model, repeatable cohort-based growth, and clear validation of workforce capability. So we have done a lot of surveys around the customers whom we have served or our partners' customers to understand people who have done the certification versus people who have not done the certification. What is the key difference in their attrition? What is their key difference in their productivity? What is the key difference in the function or a business function as a whole, whether they have really improved the cost margins or cost levers, or has they really been the same? So on a high level, I think this is where we are winning very fast. I am very proud to announce this, that speed to market that I've told about, ready certification program, plug and play models already available. Business model, not business model, I'm sorry. First, I'll go to the market credibility, of course. So we are vendor aligned. We are not directly doing a bloodbath strategy with competing directly like Microsoft, Cisco, and AWS of the world. Of course not. They will take time to get into every specific role. They already have everything in one place. A global learner base and partner network that currently exist. We have authorized partner positioning. We have three types of partner. I think we have silver partnership, we have gold partnership, we have platinum partnership, depending upon the performance of the partners, depending upon what programs that they choose and how they want to operate in that particular market. It depends upon that, and then it builds the credibility for that particular partner. And then, of course, we have business model and regional scale that you're able to see. I really wanted to talk to everyone about not just the model that we propose, but the kind of support also that we have. We have a partner marketing manager associated with accounts. We have a customer success manager associated with the accounts to ensure there is a trainer readiness, there's a sales readiness, there's marketing readiness, and there's product readiness. So I think on a high level, we work alongside with the partners to ensure there is a certain level of growth that is achieved in the first 3 months in itself. so that there is a huge conviction. And that's one of the reasons our churn has been less than 3%. Less than 3% of our partners have gone back and said that we don't need to continue with the partnership again. So that's a huge, I would say, now it's a lagging indicator to say that, we are doing a great job. But again, there's a lot to improve. There's a lot to do in the market to really keep serving and keep ensuring that we are keeping up with the pace of AI. So pretty much that what we do. I think I've already repeated this, that content is always updated. Exams have that credibility in terms of how they are being proctored. The authenticity of exam is being captured by integrating a complete proctoring tool, which is AI proctoring tool. You do not need the human in the loop when the person is writing an examination. So we have essentially also shifted that someone is taking the training in Saudi and then the person is actually going maybe in Dubai to write an exam. I'm just giving, of course, this would not be the right use case, but I'm just trying to tell that we have consolidated everything at one place, that you learn with the training partners in VILT program. Then you get a back pocket companion for 1 year. You have the access to the content. Then you go and write down the examination, clear the examination, and the content remains with you for your upgrades that keeps coming in. And then, of course, we have our own learning management system that gets integrated with partners if they want to. And if not, then they can use our particular system that is already in place. So GTM is something that we help partners with. So as I told you, we have a partner marketing team that helps a partner with social media kits. Of course, just not the social media kits, how to position the looking upon the competition, how to position the brand, how to ensure that there's a strong product synergy, how to ensure that the story really resonates with their end customers. So I think this is pretty much that I wanted to talk about. I'll quickly give you something that we have built very recently. So we have AI plus doctor, AI plus customer service, AI plus data agent, AI plus engineer, AI plus ethical hacking, AI plus finance. So as I told you, we cater to every industry. And then in that industry, we cater to all the job roles. So if you talk about HR, finance, legal, maybe healthcare, maybe research, you can find everything in one place. So that's the beauty of what we do today. These are some of the examples that I've put in here for you to have a look at it. But as we go and as we move forward with respect to what kind of partnerships we offer, this is where we have authorized training partner, we have academic alliance partner, we have association partnership and affiliate partnership. Now, of course, all these partnership comes with a mutual intent, and you will be, once you are interested, then our sales reps, or I would say our account managers, would reach out to you. Our sales team would reach out to you to make you understand step-by-step process of how to become an authorized training partner. What are the expectations in the next 1 year from the partner? How much they have to do as a business? And of course, we will also be giving you a lot of intelligence from the data. What are the key top 3, top 5 certifications that has been selling around, so that you are confident enough to get into the market with real moat that you are already aware of. And of course, how the best way to look at this is, you cannot just say you get the ATP status and you start making money. So the entire moat revolves around the positioning of what your customer needs versus what you have been offering, and how you can layer that with AI certs and then sell it to your customers. So I think that becomes a very unified and unique positioning in the brand, in the market itself. These are a few of our customers I've just mentioned here. We have, I'm sorry, I just mentioned 85,000. It is 115. We have 500 plus instructors. Now, when we say instructor, it should not get misconstrued. I again wanted to tell everyone that we have a platform because we have so many certifications. It might be that you get some requests from quantum computing, and you can come and say, Rahul, I don't have a quantum computing instructor. Do you have a pool of instructor? So we don't get involved directly with the instructor. We have a portal where instructors have put in their profiles per our cost. You can directly go and talk to them and then hire an instructor for your training. So it is that easy. So we have trainer portal, which is for trainers. We have a partner portal, which is for partners. We have a learner portal, which is LMS. And then we have a trainers portal, which is where all the trainers are available. You can directly speak to them for your classroom or maybe virtual deliveries. So we are already in 90 plus countries right now. You name the country and we have at least 1 or 2 partners there. So just to give some product overview, how the partner portal looks like. Partner portal usually is used for enrolling the students or the employees. You have the access to the full catalog. You can track every learner's progress. You can use the ready-made co-branded material that is also available on the partner portal. But of course, you can request for more customized marketing material with the partner marketing manager. We have a complete dashboard, analytical dashboard and reporting dashboard available for you to understand. And of course, then you have a news section where you can always see what is happening in your region, how other partners are doing it, what are they selling it, so that you get a lot of intelligence around the product in itself when you are selling it, and you keep growing consciously or subconsciously without even someone's support. So I think this is pretty much that I wanted to talk about. I think the last stage, it would be how we partner with our with the ATPs, AAPs, or association partners or resellers. You will have to choose your AI search program. We will have to sign an agreement, and then of course there is a small prepay that you need to do. You have to invest some amount, which is 100% credits that you get against that. So today, if you say that, Rahul, I have to invest $10,000 or $5,000, that is associated with 100% credit. There is no authorization fees that you have to give it to the AI certs initially. For the first year, you don't have to pay anything. It's just that first investment that you take us with. That investment is going to be with you to ensure that you exhaust that, and there is a mutual intent towards bringing the partnership to a level where we both expect, from a demand and supply side, to really cater to that market with right intent. So stage 3 would be, of course, the seamless onboarding experience. You will have a customer success manager dedicatedly for your account, and then that person would be with you for the next 1 year to ensure that in the first 3 months you get success. Now, let me be very honest in telling you, 69%, 68%, not 69, 68% of our partners have sold their first kits in the first 3 months itself. There have been partners who have been struggling after 3 months. They have sold something after 6 months. And then there are certain partners who have sold after 8 months as well. And there's a reason for it, because, partners are small. They don't have a website up and running. They do not have a big team. They have just 2, 3 people, 4 people running a company, reselling our certifications. So I think the real mode to make money here would be to ensure that you do a lot of VIT and IIT classes. The best part that I can tell you is the pricing is really, really not as you can think of. So we have professional training, professional certifications, which is where it is of 8 hours, and our technical certifications are of 40 hours. So we have 40 hours and 8-hour courses, which is 1 day and 5 day typically from a VILD standpoint. But you can make it 15, maybe you can make it 120-hour course. You can combine 3-4 courses to create the moat in the region, so that no one actually copies that, and you can have your own product synergy coming in, expanding into it. So I think that's pretty much that I wanted to talk about. Anyone has any questions, feel free to ask in the chat. I'm more than happy to answer. Shrishti, if you have anything, let me know. I can answer it right away. And not, then what I would like to do is we can actually get back to you. I mean, there are so many people. Thank you for joining in. Yasser, Elijah, Karen, Asma, David, Honey, and then there are so many. So I'm just taking a few names. If you have any concerns, questions around this, feel free to ask. For pricing and the partnership, how we move forward with, very transparently, I would say our sales team would come back to you, and they can get in touch with you for you to have a complete understanding on the model side. I have given you a lot more overview on a high level, how the partnership looks like, what we cater to, what customer segment we have, what is our business model, and what are the key platforms and infrastructure that we provide to our partners to ensure they get the success in this particular collaboration. Feel free to ask any questions. If you don't have any questions, our sales team will be reaching out to you, and we'll take things forward from there on. Thank you so much, Shrishti. Thank you everyone for joining in. Shrishti, you have something to say, the last few words, and then we can maybe close the webinar.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Rahul, for that insightful session. I can see we do not have any questions as of now, but I have already shared a meeting link in the chat box. So I would request our audience, if you have any doubts, any questions later on, if you would like to explore our partnership models and would like to get a better understanding on this and want to have a one-on-one conversation with our sales team, please book your slot. The link is in the caption. Also, I would once again let you know that you'll be receiving the recording of the session and your participation certificates shortly after the session is over. So please do share them on your social media and follow us on LinkedIn, Instagram, and other social media apps to stay tuned for our upcoming webinars. Thank you once again, everyone. Have a great day ahead. Thank you, Rahul.
Thank you.